Enrollment and registration for national identity number resumes after NIMSI staff suspend strike. United Nations Secretary General seeks new multilateralism to address global challenges. We will work towards special welfare package for wounded soldiers at the front line, Senate pledges as committee visits military reference hospital.
Every day they take risk and they fight on our behalf.
Plus, surge in COVID-19. Correspondent looks at increased capacity in response, awareness, and enforcement. Hello, good evening, and welcome to the Network News on the NTA. I am Kenen Ima Aborike. Michael Olaleye will be reading from Lagos, while Mohammed Ibrahim joins us later from Maiduguri. The United Nations has appealed for a new multilateralism to address global challenges. Secretary General of the organization, Antonio Guterres, made a plea during a virtual speech for the commemoration of the 75th anniversary of the first meeting of the UN General Assembly. Adebora Brusklin Sunday reports that a virtual event organized by the British government also focused on the need to reduce inequality and injustice.
Since the beginning of the United Nations in 1945, on the ashes of World War II, observers say the world has enjoyed the longest period in recorded history without a military confrontation between major powers, which in itself is a great achievement the United Nations and its member states can be rightly proud of.
States have gathered for 75 years.
The UN scribe listed from human rights and environmental protection to arms control and war crime are some of the challenges facing the world.
Today, I see a growing momentum for change from grassroots activists, young people and civil society, and from businesses, cities, regions and governments in the United Nations General Assembly. In our interconnected world, we need a networked multilateralism, so that global and regional organizations communicate and work together towards common goals.
Guterres said many daily work of the Assembly has played enormous parts in formulating and upholding laws on key global goods.
Carbon dioxide levels are at record highs. Apocalyptic fires and floods, cyclones and hurricanes are becoming the new normal. If we don't change course, we may be headed for a catastrophic temperature rise of more than 3 degrees this century.
The first meeting of the UN General Assembly was convened on January 10, 1946 in London. Adebola Brooksland Sunday, NTA News.
And now to security matters, where the Nigerian Senate will work towards improved welfare package in the ongoing law reform for wounded heroes who sustained lifetime injuries with a view to boosting the morale of fighting forces in the battle line. Senate Committee on Defense gave the indication during an oversight to the 44 Army Reference Hospital, Kaduna. Suleiman Abdullahi Rigachukun reports.
Wounded in the battlefront, recuperating in the hospital. These are gallant officers and men of the Nigerian military receiving treatment on account of service to their fatherland in some flashpoints across the country. As part of the 2021 Armed Forces Remembrance activities, the Senate Committee on Army is out to appreciate the sacrifices of the gallant officers and men of the armed forces in defending the territorial integrity of the country. Senator Abdul Kwari, who went round wards, intensive care units and a computer center for post-treatment training, acknowledged the capacity and efficacy of the 44 Army Reference Hospital in definitive surgery and treatment of all wounded soldiers.
Every day they take risk and they fight on our behalf. So whatever the country does to appreciate them cannot be too much.
Equipped and upgraded with state-of-the-art facilities, Chief Medical Director of the hospital, Colonel Augustine Omogbetai, says the hospital has facilities to attend to medical cases which were hitherto referred overseas.
There are some of them that end up having lifelong injuries. They have amputation. We realize that they cannot fight again, but they are still there, sir. And many of them are in their prime, 23, 25, 26. So what we did is to start training them in various trades.
About 80% of patients currently on admission are wounded officers and men of the Nigerian Army. Suleiman Abdullahi Rigachukun, NTA News.
2021 is the year of renewed strength and tactics in crime fighting for the Nigeria Police Force. This assurance is coming from the force spokesperson CP Frankamba as gang of criminals are paraded in Abuja. Francis Fom tells us more.
Sirens sound offensive in the ears of the criminals, but the police is out to blow it louder. Welcoming the year with a victory. Within the first 2 weeks of the year, a total of 18 suspects arrested by the operatives of the Special Tactical Squad and Intelligence Response Team of the force. A 35-year-old man notorious in kidnapping along Abuja-Kaduna, Abuja-Lokoja highways and other adjoining states.
Kidnapping. That he kidnapped severally.
Bugabargu took Mohammed, kidnapped Mohammed, and held him hostage until he paid a sum of 1.550. Investigations have equally shown clearly that there is a strong link between this gang and a major terror group operating in the northwest part of Nigeria.
Gang of Five specializes in snatching of cars in Delta, Edo, Ondo, and Lagos states.
My friends went to rob 2 vehicles on 2 different locations. The first one is a Toyota Camry Big for nothing, and it was sold at the rate of 400,000 naira.
Incriminating weapons found in the custody of the suspects, which will assist the police for further investigations. In Abuja, Francis Fom, NTA News.
Still talking security, the Department of State Services, DSS, has warned those planning to incite religious violence across the country to desist from such or face the wrath of the law. A statement by Public Relations Officer of the DSS, Dr. Peter Afunanya, says part of the plan is to cause inter-religious conflict as well as use their foot soldiers to attack some worship centers, religious leaders, personalities, and vulnerable points. The DSS appeals to Nigerians to be wary of these antics and shun all divisive tendencies aimed at inciting them against one another, while the service pledges to collaborate with other security agencies to ensure public order is maintained. The service encourages law-abiding citizens to report any breach of peace to the nearest security agency. A magistrate court sitting in Abuja has granted bail to the convener of Revolution Now protest, Omoyele Sowore, in the sum of 20 million naira with 2 sureties in like sum. The court has also ordered Sowore to remain in Abuja and physically report to the court registrar every Monday and Friday, pending the determination of the case against him. The 4 other defendants in the case were also admitted to 1 million naira bail each and 1 surety, while the matter has been adjourned to February 5th for trial. The 5 defendants are standing trial for alleged conspiracy, unlawful assembly, and incitement of the public. Now, President Muhammadu Buhari felicitates with Professor George Obiozor on his election as the new President General of Ohaneze Ndigbo, welcoming the new position of Nigeria's former ambassadors to the United States, Israel, and Cyprus. The president urges the eminent diplomat and scholar to deploy his immense experience within and outside the government to forge a greater unity of the country. While wishing the former Director General, Nigerian Institute of International Affairs, a successful tenure, President Buhari enjoins Professor Obiozor to be a unifying force beyond his immediate constituency, and we need all hands to be on deck for this country to move forward in peace and unity, the president adds. This is the network service, and you're watching the network news. Let's now go for a break.
Oh, my flavored chocolate. A yakpa for you now.
I'm coming.
Come, let me spoil you. Look, this is not boil or abscess. Now money. show for King's Lounge right now. Babes, yapa for you.
Find your first. Get a Glow special data plan. Dial *777# Glow.
The Honorable Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Mrs. Dr. Zainab Shamsuna Ahmed, hereby invites all heads of federal government ministries, departments and agencies, private sector organizations and associations, media practitioners and other relevant stakeholders to a public presentation and breakdown of the highlight of the 2021 Appropriation Act. Date, Tuesday, 12th January 2021. Time, 10 a.m. prompt. Venue, through Zoom webinar. Meeting ID, 831-4710-6976. Passcode, 475067. Ben Akabweze, Director General, Budget Office of the Federation. Announcer.
For you to tanda for this world, you got to know what's up. Sabi waiting day ground, then start to do your own. Get ginger, sabi every. Because when you first see the different side of the world, anything they possible. BBC News for Pidgin. Make your life better.
Dear customer, link your Airtel number to your national identification number today. Here are easy ways you can do it. Dial *121*1# on your Airtel line and follow the prompts on the screen. Type in your 11-digit government-approved NIN number. You will receive a confirmation message to confirm your entry. You can also visit www.airtel.com.ng/NIN to link your phone number to your NIN. If you do not know your NIN, simply dial *346# to get it. No stress, no wahala.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
You clean your teeth every morning, but that fresh breath feeling just doesn't last. The answer? Easy. You keep your teeth strong and healthy and give your mouth long-lasting fresh breath with new Oral-B 2-in-1 toothpaste. It helps strengthen your teeth and gives you long-lasting fresh breath.
So fresh, still fresh, and still fresh.
Stay strong, stay fresh. New Oral-B toothpaste for strong teeth and long-lasting fresh breath.
Customer, here are the tomatoes. What else shall I give you?
Hot pepper and Auntie, this your cough is getting out of hand now.
Take it easy with her now. But customer, this your cough. You should go to the hospital.
You know I can't go there with this cough at this time. They'll just say I have COVID-19.
Customer, every cough is different. It could be tuberculosis.
It's true, Auntie. Check am o, make you dey sure.
Because who no go?
No go, no.
Check that cough for tuberculosis.
Check am o, make you dey sure.
If your cough is more than 2 weeks, it could be tuberculosis. TB tests and TB treatment are free. Just call the National TB Hotline on 3340 for information on where to get the test. This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Health with support from the American people.
Imagine the joy that fills your heart when you have just given birth. Whatever your size, we got you.
Follow the grandmother.
Mama, baby.
With our Buy Right chat, you can get the best mattress that goes with your body weight. Don't just buy a mattress, buy a Vitafoam mattress.
The name of the baby is Stella.
Vitafoam, the fine art of living.
Susu is fine. No, she's not crying, oh. We are watching cartoon. Ask grandma, I'm the one that used to take care of Yabo that time. Take your time.
They cry, oh, daddy, oh, daddy, oh.
I will call you back. Your daddy is calling.
Explore without limits. Turn it up on MTN, the reliable data network.
Everybody say,
Thanks for staying with us. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo says the federal government, in partnership with the private sector, would continue to support innovation and interventions to boost the growth of small businesses across the country. Vice President Osinbajo stated this at the first meeting of MSMEs stakeholders for the year 2021. Speaking about the implementation of the MSMEs Survival Fund and the impact on the economy, the Vice President said the implementation of the Survival Fund by the federal government has sent the right signals that MSMEs are an important component of the economy. Minister of State, Industry, Trade and Investment, Ambassador Mariam Katagum, said the implementation of the Survival Fund across different areas lessened the burden of the pandemic on businesses, and that 300,000 business owners have benefited as at the end of year 2020. More than 700,000 Nigerian youths will soon be smiling to the bank thanks to the Special Public Works Employment Initiative, which has been formally launched in various states across the country. Najatu Tijani reports.
Aimed at providing employment for persons with low to high skill set, the Special Public Works Program seeks to also explore opportunities in sanitation, utilities and infrastructural services, among others. It has caused ripples of excitement amongst those shortlisted across the country. In Ogun State, Mohammed Adebowale reports that 20,000 youths are set to benefit as the much-anticipated program of the federal government takes off in the state.
This is just one of the programs that was put in place to mitigate the effects of the pandemic, to promote economic activity for our people.
Our government appreciates all the social intervention programs of the federal government that we have been receiving since the COVID crisis.
The excitement is the same in Osun State, where Governor Gboyega Oyetola declared the formal launch of the program.
All our existing programs, including the Osun Youth Empowerment Scheme, post-COVID-19 recovery plan, are already being recalculated for employment duration and better service delivery. Through those far-reaching grassroots-based employment creation initiative in the history of our great nation.
In Abakaliki, Chinaza John reports that 13,000 Ebonyi youth have been recruited into the federal government extended special works program initiated by the Buhari administration.
3 months, we're expecting that they will acquire additional knowledge and new skills.
With this, I can keep myself busy and run away from crimes. And with the connection, will even take me to more higher levels.
I'm very happy. I thank Mr. President for the program, and I'm very sure before the end of this program, I might have been given a link.
One of the 4 core programs of the National Directorate of Employment, the Special Public Works Initiative promotes mass employment strategies through the attachment of qualified graduates to willing employers of labor. Najatu Tijani, NTA News.
Enrollment and registration exercise resumes across all the National Identity Management Commission's centers. ICT correspondent Joseph Johnson, who is at the epicenter, has the situation report.
The strike or sitting strike, if you may, that was embarked upon by the staff union of the National Identity Management Commission, NIMSI, under the aegis of the Association of Senior Civil Servants of Nigeria just a few days ago, was called off on Friday. And the press release by the commission indicated that normal enrollment exercise resumes today across all NIMSI's centers in the country. Well, unlike the empty chairs and, of course, the dead silence that characterized this place during the no-work period, you can see that activities have picked up on a high. And, of course, expectedly, you would have been seeing another round of rush hour, long queues and flaring tempers. But I must say that it is relatively different this time in terms of organization.
Today is quite different. They are working very well today than other days I have been coming.
But what I want government to do for us is they should
extend this for us.
Many are asking if the issues that led to the strike action have been resolved. Well, I spoke with the chairman of the union, Mr. Lucky Azekukai. He did say that in the interim they will have to get back to work. That's today, of course, while still engaging with the management to iron out all the grey areas. And now let's bring him in to update us on the matter. Mr. Lucky, it's good to see you again.
Yeah, good morning.
All right, so apparently work has resumed. What's next for you and your colleagues?
Yes, negotiation starts today. We'll be meeting with them Saturday. We'll be meeting with the ministers tomorrow. We've not resolved because I keep hearing from other quarters that the issue has been resolved. Nothing has been resolved yet. At the moment, we are still dialoguing. At the end of the 21 days, if nothing concrete comes out, we'll go back to the gate again. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Of course, you've heard that the issues are still pending while the union, crosses their finger to see what the federal government will do with all the demands, concerns, still growing concerns on the non-compliance of COVID-19 safety protocols, especially with social distancing and, of course, compulsory wearing of face mask, which is still very palpable, here. Well, the union has succumbed to the greater good of getting the job done, given the very important nature, the national interest nature of the exercise. But, and that's a big but, the question remains, at what cost? Joseph Johnson, NTA News.
The news about a fire incident at the headquarters of the Nigeria Immigration Service over the weekend has cast doubt over the use of information data analysis system. The Comptroller General Mohammed Babandede, however, says there is no cause for alarm. Abdullahi Mohammed reports.
Looking at the front view of the immigration headquarters building debunks the headlines that show Shagari House was razed by fire. And before the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Interior, the immigration boss began to correct that negative impression, stating that the fire incident has no bearing on the operations of the service.
You are free to go and see passport is being issued. You are free to go and see visa is being issued online. You are free to check our website and see if there is connectivity. The only challenge we have is that we have not established direct connectivity between us and our formations, which we are doing manually. I assure you, in the next 3 to 4 days, that direct connection will be conducted.
And I'm very proud and happy to say that the response meted out to the fire incidents was prompt, fast, and well coordinated.
Steps into the affected offices bring to the fore the ravaging effects of the fire incident. Various kinds of hardware were burnt beyond salvage, but the miracle of backups saved the day.
I'm glad to state that this equipment were installed by our experts, especially the miners. We have the capability to reinstall them. We don't require any technical expert to do it. It was installed by officers and they will install it.
For now, the only significant task that cannot be carried out as a result of the fire outbreak is the real-time connectivity with the Interpol, which the Immigration Service says will be restored in a couple of days. In Abuja, Abdullahi Mohammed, NTA News.
Traders at the Kobo Furniture Market are still counting their losses and picking their pieces from the Sunday morning fire that gutted $1 billion worth of goods and property. Abdullahi Ajia, who has been monitoring development around the popular furniture market, has an update.
Fire, one phenomenon causing too many destructions and trauma. The Sunday fire incident at the Kubu Furniture Market has left an impact that will not be forgotten in a hurry. As at Monday morning, the traders gathered in clusters, still expressing their shock over how their wealth and investment melted in the fire within the twinkle of an eye.
We'll continue struggling because somebody says struggle, continue.
Our only plea is for government to come and see the way they can help us.
Now, for a market like the Kubo Furniture with huge economic viability and prospects running into billions of naira investment,
Where is the place of insurance cover in case of unforeseen disaster like these?
Personally, I have insurance in my showrooms, but I don't have insurance in my workshop because it's even so much to pay insurance.
The shock of this fire is still stopping me up to now.
The incident has also exposed the need to upgrade the market and its infrastructure, such as road, fire station, as a means of being proactive, especially in a market that deals mostly on inflammables and combustibles. The fire, many said, is leaving a huge lessons for policymakers as well as the traders to avert future occurrence.
This hour of the day would have been a productive time here at the busy Furniture Kubo market here, but as a result of the fire incident, the youth are stranded at this moment, looking for the way forward. Abdullah Hajia, NTA News.
As the nation grapples with challenges of economic recession posed by COVID-19, corporate organizations are taking the lead in depressing the impacts of the global pandemic. Abdurrahman Usman Jibrila reports that the latest intervention is coming from the National Information Technology Development Agency, NITDA, to assist Jigawa youth in surviving the critical period.
The mission here is to develop various empowerment programs to engage youth to be self-reliant and contribute to the nation's growth and development profile. The approach is to deploy ICT knowledge in developing the skills of youth to leverage on the opportunities inherent in the communications and digital economy, which Nigeria is fast taking the lead.
The enrollment for the National Identification Number is now a reality. Therefore, the digitalized economic remains the best option, capable of placing the youth in an advantageous position to benefit from multiple global opportunities.
He said the global economic recession has compelled nations to think out of the box in building a strong and sustainable economy that is employable and dependable for surviving the trying times. In Abuja, Abraham Usman Jibrila, NTA News.
Michael Olaleye in Lagos brings us more reports.
Thank you, Kene. The contributions of the maritime subsector to a challenging year was majorly in the area of constant shipment of food and drugs at a period COVID-19 threatens the existence of man. The positivity from these daunting challenges that the industry is involving strategies for digitization of port operations in 2021 and beyond. Correspondent has a review and prospects of the maritime sector. The Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, NIMASA, projected a 10% growth rate for the industry between 2019 and 2020, with vessel fleet expected to grow by 8.75%. No soothsayer or forecast gave a second thought that an unseen enemy in form of coronavirus will stretch global economy to its begging knees. With hope of survival glaringly looking slim, the federal government exempted port operations from the lockdown in order to ensure constant supply of food, while waivers were activated on demurrage and storage fees for an initial 21 days.
Because we know how important it is for the economy to continue to move forward.
The implication, therefore, is that while cargoes were coming into the country, few were leaving, thereby leading to congestion and 80% yard occupancy.
Technology is the solution, okay? The port operations, like any other sector, must be moved by technology. We don't want people coming here. We want goods to be moved out, without anybody physically coming here.
Regardless of these challenges, the foundation for ease of doing business at the ports was built in 2020 with the projection that investors might save up to 30% operational costs.
We have several initiatives, and those initiatives need to be shared amongst ourselves for us to have improved operational opportunities within the maritime industries.
There is also a concerted effort at increasing indigenous shipping, flying the Nigerian flag through the cabotage financing scheme.
Even when international ships are under the Nigerian
ship registry, they will give preference to Nigerian seafarers. So there's a direct relationship between the size of our tonnage and the opportunities for seafarers.
The maritime sector has demonstrated the resilience to survive regardless of challenges. And once the Deep Blue project is fully operational, the criminality threatening investments in the Gulf of Guinea will be a thing of the past. Analysts are confident that as the fourth quarter of year 2021 kicks off, the Nigerian stock market will sustain its leading title as the best performing stock market in 2020. Amaka Owo sorts the views of experts and now reports.
Despite the economic shocks experienced due to COVID-19 pandemic, plunge in global oil prices, and economic recession experienced in the previous year, the Nigerian stock market came out strong, emerging number one among over 93 equities markets across the globe, as released by Bloomberg. Reports also say investors were said to have gained over 7 trillion naira by the end of 2020.
A lot of the OMO investments and even a lot of the Treasury bills investments that occurred in 2019 were maturing in 2020. And as we were maturing in 2020, you had an influx of naira into the economy, and that basically started bringing down interest rates. The stock market at that point had stocks that potentially could give you dividend yields of 14-15%.
Experts also bear their minds on expectations for 2021.
Operators are going to be playing by the rules, ensure that the efficiency, transparency, and fairness of the market is maintained. We are going to see more of IPOs coming to the market.
We expect nothing less than a good dividend payout for this first quarter. And with that, we know that investors, savvy investors, risk takers will want to come and queue in for this dividend, because that is what can actually give them a better return ahead of fixed income instrument.
According to the Nigerian Stock Exchange website, there are over 161 listed companies on the exchange, with increase in local investor participation, which contributed to its successes. Experts urge more companies to get listed on the Nigerian Stock Exchange. In Lagos, Amaka O, NTA News.
This is NTA Network News. More reports with Kenne shortly after this break. Please stay tuned.
Dear customer, link your Airtel number to your national identification number today. Here are easy ways you can do it. Dial *121*1# on your Airtel line and follow the prompts on the screen. Type in your 11-digit government-approved NIN number. You will receive a confirmation message to confirm your entry. You can also visit www.airtel.com.ng/NIN to link your phone number to your NIN. If you do not know your NIN, simply dial *346# to get it. No stress, no wahala.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
It's been exciting winning this. I initially didn't believe it, but I'm glad I'm here and it's real.
I'm so happy to be here. I'm excited. From the first day I was called, I never expected to win. So grateful. Thanks to August.
I just want to say thank you to August.
I feel excited. While I was called, I didn't believe it at first. So later, I got a text coming here and seeing it live. I feel happy.
I just love it. So this is so real. It is real. It is not a scam. 200,000. Thank you very much.
Are you ready for this?
Let me hear you, AJ. Give me some bass.
That good for you?
Nice, AJ. Bring it out. Double it.
I was born hungry for success. It's the Nigerian way.
Glow gets it. Champions stay hungry. Oh yeah.
glow gets it big time. One more for sure. Champions go the distance and then go further. Glow, the heart of a champion.
Confidence is important in life's little moments. Strong teeth can help, even if they get her into trouble sometimes. A great smile is useful to break the ice, and making friends is easier when you know you have fresh breath. I give my family confidence with Pepsodent Triple Protection 123. Its antibacterial action formula gives them cavity protection, white teeth, and fresh breath. The confidence of 3 toothpaste in 1. Pepsodent Triple Protection 123.
While the city slept, we installed a board in the middle of a park with something special hidden inside. We wondered if people would notice. They didn't, so we invited Nigerians to add their paws to the scene, whichever way they chose to. Some literally added their own paws. Some sang, others rapped, and even recited poetry. As they added their paws, the board came alive. Hidden figures broke free from obscurity, inspired by the crowd expressing themselves.
You know you can do anything.
Because why blend in when you can stand out? NTN Pulse. Do you? Dial star 406 hash to join.
Welcome back as we go to health. The third stream of National Youth Service Corps members will resume on 18th January 2021 with COVID-19 testing and protocols in place, but school resumption date may be reviewed by the Federal Ministry of Education as COVID-19 cases continue to rise in the country. The Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 started this on Monday's briefing in Abuja. Betara Ibn reports.
11 months into the COVID-19 pandemic in Nigeria, more than 100,000 infections have been recorded, with a case fatality rate of 1.36%. The PTF advises Nigerians to avoid super spreader events as new and deadly strains of the virus are suspected to be in circulation.
Avoid crowding, as we see in people under the guise of national identity number enrollment. There is absolutely no cause for this. If only people would voluntarily comply with advisories and guidelines.
If you are above the age of 60, if you have diabetes, if you have other comorbidities, now is the time to keep away from mass gatherings if you fall within this group.
There is no state in Nigeria that is immune to this pandemic, even if reports are not coming out of such states.
Ahead of school resumption,
January 18th, we are reviewing it. We are going to review it. When we decided on that date, it was just a target towards which we were working. And of course, we are keeping it in view and looking at what is happening in the society.
As a matter of fact, we have done some kind of decontamination and disinfection on, I think, 2 or 3 universities on request at the time. So we do have the plan to do that. All we are waiting for is to just know when, all this thing will be settled and the schools will reopen, because the timing for decontamination and disinfection is critical.
The PTF is projecting to vaccinate 70% of Nigeria's population within 2 years.
20% out of the 70% of the vaccines will be given free of charge to Nigerians. So it's the balance of the 50% that Nigeria will be paying for. For example, the Pfizer vaccine in the open market cost about $35 US per dose. The Moderna vaccine is about $20 US per dose.
To ramp up testing for COVID-19, rapid diagnostic test kits will be rolled out nationwide in February. In Abuja, Mitaire Ikben, NTA News.
Nigeria is still battling to contain the second wave of the coronavirus pandemic, with more cases recorded on a daily basis. while citizens are said to be taking the safety advisories lightly. Sarah Khalil Ibrahim, however, reports that there is an increased capacity in response, awareness and enforcement by health experts and authorities.
It is no longer news that coronavirus is the guy next door, now hitting harder with more than 100,000 confirmed cases and 1,000 deaths across Nigeria, with new cases increasing by the day.
Taxes are still overloaded. You understand? What do you expect? Outside there, you don't know who is not infected. You don't know who is infected. What are you supposed to do? Take the necessary precaution.
Flouting safety measures under the new normal is what many Nigerians on the streets don't believe comes with a negative price, even as the spike remains worrisome. Just like it was reported on some social media platforms, the raid of some nightclubs in Lagos by a task force. And in Abuja, 12 persons were arraigned before a magistrate judge for violating COVID-19 protocols.
We won't give up. We have appealed to them very strongly. As I told someone, we will save you from yourself. In the advent you want to kill yourself and kill others, we will save you from doing that. Put on your face mask. Just obey the health protocol. Put on your face mask, keep physical distancing, wash your hand, use sanitizers, and you are good to go.
What is on the mind of many Nigerians now is the vaccine, but experts still insist that compliance with non-pharmaceutical measures and other safety practices remains the sure way to defeat the virus. In Abuja, Salwa Khalil Ibrahim, NTA News.
Away from health, following the directive by President Muhammadu Buhari for the Corporate Affairs Commission to register for free 250,000 small businesses, more than 30,000 have so far been registered. Registrar General of the Commission, Garba Abubakar, informed the media in Abuja that a business formalization support of the MSME Survival Fund is going steadily. Here is Benny Adams with that report.
Of technology, experts say, is one of the proven strategies to surviving the impact of COVID-19 on businesses. That explains why the Corporate Affairs Commission adopted SAME to facilitate efficiency. The end-to-end electronic system allows clients a start-to-finish registration and issuance of certificates electronically.
From anywhere in the world, from the comfort of your homes or offices, you can start and finish your registration with the CAC and get your certificates electronically. This is in line with the best practice globally.
Free registration for 250,000 business names across the country commenced in October last year as part of the federal government's post-COVID-19 survival intervention to support micro and small businesses to formalize their businesses.
The delay was mainly because they waited until after they had finished collecting all the information from the applicants before they started making entry on our website. We have a different interface for them, and to my knowledge, over 30,000 certificates have been issued so far.
In spite of initial delays, the CAC says registration is done immediately. Aggregators fit the system with required documents. Benny Adams, NTA News.
The Domestication of Trafficking in Persons Enforcement and Administration Act 2015 (TP) and Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act 2015 (VAP) in all states of the Federation are critical. Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Sadiya Umar Farouk, is therefore urging new Director General of the National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, NAPTIP, Iman Suleiman Ibrahim, to implement these acts. Ruth Aguele tells us more.
A modern-day slavery that has stolen the joy and freedom of many globally. Trafficking in persons, a global concern. And for Nigeria, the prevention of all forms of human degradation and exploitation is at the center of government advocacy. This visit by the agency responsible to stamp out all forms of human trafficking in the country to the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development is to present pending challenges faced by the agency that poses a drawback to the realization of its core mandate.
Nigeria as a source, transit and destination country will play its role to ensure that the hundreds of thousands of our citizens stranded and awaiting repatriations shall be evacuated and made to undergo counseling, rehabilitation, empowerment, reintegration back into society.
The federal government of Nigeria has and continues to provide support and commitment to the anti-human trafficking cause. Hence, it is my hope that you will build on previous successes and strategic relationships to ensure a collaborative and transformational approach to stemming human trafficking and domestic violence in Nigeria.
The expectation here is to ensure improved service to humanity through a collective responsibility to ensure that the fight against trafficking in persons is sustained. In Abuja, Ruth Aguela, NTA News.
Yobe State Governor and Chairman, APC Extraordinary National Convention Planning Committee, Mai Malabuni, has charged members of the APC Northeast social media to always attract people to the party's policies on social media platforms through quality and constructive engagement. Governor Buni made a call during the first combined meeting and convention of APC Northeast Social Media Forum held in Damaturu. Yunusa Suleiman was there.
Northeast APC Social Media Forum is a collection of various pro-APC social media groups who agreed in principles to create a forum to continue to promote and project the activities and developmental strides recorded by APC governors in the Northeast sub-region. Declaring open the maiden combined convention of the forum, Governor Mai Malabuni, who is also the chairman, APC National Extraordinary Convention Planning Committee, advised the forum to always engage people constructively by streamlining to elevate and highlight successes recorded at the federal and state levels. Represented by the Commissioner of Information, Home Affairs and Culture, Abdullahi Begu, Governor Buni noted that the social media is another medium to change the narrative in governance and therefore tasked the forum to be well organized in conducting their affairs.
The federal government under His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari is doing its best to address some of our myriad challenges, including in the sphere of security and socio-economic development. The Northeast Development Commission is one of the examples of the interventions of His Excellency Mr. President.
The chairman of Northeast APC Social Media Forum, Abubakar Kachala Zaid, recalled how the social media was deployed in 2015 to get across electorates, which aided in no small measure to culminate in the party's victory. In Damaturu, Yunusa Suleiman, NTA News.
The Speaker, House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila, has felicitated with the President of the Senate, Ahmad Ibrahim Lawan, as he marks his 62nd birthday. Gbajabiamila, in a congratulatory message, described the President of the Senate as a wealthy partner and a dependable ally in the task of nation building. Similarly, the Northern Governors Forum has rejoiced with President of the Senate, Ahmad Ibrahim Lawan, on his 62nd birthday. Chairman of the Forum and Governor of Plateau State, Simon Bako Blalong, describes the celebrant as an erudite legislator and scholar who has brought his experience to bear on the Nigerian Parliament. Maiduguri is where we go next, and Mohammed Ibrahim is on.
Thank you, Kene, and welcome to Maiduguri. Borno State Governor Babagana Umar Zulum says it is imperative for all to concentrate effort and energy in finding ways and means of resolving the lingering security challenges once and for all before considering any other issue. This came up at the first security meeting for 2021 held at the Government House Maiduguri. Mohammed Goni reports.
Security meeting is being held periodically to assess the security challenges in Borno State with a view to taking informed decision to protect lives and property of the citizenry. Before the meeting went into closed doors, Chief Security Officer of the state, Professor Babagana Umara, in his opening remarks, reiterated that security of lives and property of Borno people remain his number one priority, which he stressed he will do everything possible to uphold.
It should be noted that prominent Nigerians, home and abroad, have called for a change of strategy. If this war is to be won, let's devise a new approach because the current options are not working. We cannot keep doing the same thing over and over and expect a different result.
The governor gave an overview of some notable security-related challenges in 2020, while calling on the council members to critically examine approaches and tactics of insurgents in the state. He emphasized that despite all efforts, in December 2020 alone, dozens of innocent citizens were abducted across the state. The governor stressed that it is imperative for all to concentrate every effort finding ways and means of resolving these unfortunate situations once and for all before considering any other issue. Governor Zulum expressed gratitude to President Muhammadu Buhari, officers and soldiers of the Nigerian Armed Forces, and all other security operatives working in Borno for their sacrifice, saying the fallen heroes and their families will continue to be in the minds of people of the state. In Maiduguri, Mahmoud Goni, NTA News.
In the meantime, wounded soldiers receiving treatment at 7th Division Medical Services and Hospital have expressed readiness to go back to the front line and continue with their onslaught against Boko Haram terrorists to root them out of the northeast region immediately they are declared fit by doctors. The wounded soldiers made their position known when Chairman Senate Committee on Army, Senator Mohammed Alindume, paid an unscheduled visit to the hospital at Malari Cantonment, Maiduguri. Defense correspondent Memuna Garba reports.
They are really attending to us, giving us drugs. In the next 2 weeks, we're going back to that Gamboro. We hit them and eat them out.
I will join the remaining troops in my location.
These are testimonies of some wounded soldiers currently receiving medical care at the 7th Division Hospital. Chairman Senate Committee on Army, Senator Mohammed Alindume, expressed satisfaction with the condition of the wounded soldiers and the improvement seen in the hospital, assuring of the National Assembly's continued support.
I want to tell the patients here, the officers here, please don't be discouraged. Don't be demoralized. Just concentrate on your work.
In an interview, Deputy Theatre Commander Major General Felix Omegui and GOC 7th Division Major General Abdul Khalifa Ibrahim said wounded soldiers will always receive the best medical attention.
The Chief of Army Staff believes in the welfare of soldiers, and that is why he places premium on medical aspects of the soldiers.
Even those of them who are not injured in battle-related ailments, we take very good care of them.
The Army generals also reiterated military's continued zeal to ending the insurgency. In Maiduguri, Maimuna Garba, NTA News.
Those are the stories from Maiduguri. The rest of Network News continues in Abuja. Kene?
Thank you, Mohammed. We'll now go on our final break on the news tonight. Do stay.
You know that 35% of every girl child and women are raped on daily basis. Some are killed in the process. Some take their lives in shame. Others remain emotionally dead for life. It is sad. This culture is not ours, definitely not African. How did we allow bad culture to infiltrate and take over? Even if you lack fear for the law, what of fear of God? And you, why do you cover up rape acts when it happens? Remember, a problem shared is a problem half solved. Never cover any rape act because a rapist is a murderer. It could be you or your loved ones next. Women must be treated like the prize gem they are. Say no to rape.
Nando Jamda Muhammad
Stevita
Hussein Musa Roduna Joel Finji Said Musa John. I'm a carpenter. I've been doing this for more than 8 years now. And I said that plantain Nakai Chimami Shekara Uku.
I've been selling my tomatoes for about 10 years now, and I do it for a better Nigeria.
And I do it for a better Nigeria.
Ina wannan sana'ar lemu ne domin Nigeria ta ci gaba. Ina sa domin Nigeria ta kyau.
And you can see how we're doing our small little work to make Nigeria great.
As you can see, I'm a technician and I'm doing it to help myself and to help my generation.
Ina zaune ne a Plateau na business. Kuma ina yin wannan domin ci gaban ƙasar Najeriya.
For a better Nigeria. This message is from the National Orientation Agency.
Welcome back. Sports Update is next.
Welcome to Sports Updates. I'm Badi Adeleye. The Nigeria Football Federation is rearranging its schedule for the year in realistic terms with available funds and the second wave of COVID-19. General Secretary of the Federation, Sanusi Muhammad, while interacting with correspondent Ayodeji Makinde in Abuja, explained development plans for national teams.
What we are trying to do now is to build on the successes we are recording and try and concentrate more on the development of youth football and, of course, the women's football.
The board of the Nigeria Women's Football League has announced the postponement of Week 5 matches in order to accommodate the collation and validation of the COVID-19 test being conducted by the 14 Premiership clubs. This comes on the heels of the inability of all the clubs to meet up with the directives of the NWFL Secretariat on COVID-19 test for players and team officials. Meanwhile, registration has begun for the National Principals Cup football competition, which is expected to kick off next month. The proposed competition is a talent hunt program aimed at bringing out young talented footballers from tender age with the aim of taking them to greater heights. Away from football, Nigerian gymnasts are making the best use of video conferencing to enhance their fitness and intensify preparations for national and international tournaments this year. World Gymnastics certified coach Anthony Asukwo disclosed this while projecting Nigeria's chances at the forthcoming Tokyo Olympics qualifiers in South Africa.
Since 1975, so this will be the first time Nigeria should be qualifying for the Olympics. So I think it's a good one for Nigerian gymnastics at this time.
And that will be all on Sports Update. I am Badi Adeleye.
President Muhammadu Buhari commiserates with the family of Colonel Aminu Isa Kontangora, former military administrator of Benue and Kano State, who died recently, urging members to accept the will of God and find solace in the good works of the deceased. President Buhari believes the career military officer who served in many leadership positions lived a life of sacrifice and dedication to the service of the nation. Similarly, President Muhammadu Buhari condoles with the President, Catholic Bishops' Conference of Nigeria, and the entire Catholic community over the demise of Most Reverend Gregory Obinna Ochiaga, Bishop Emeritus, Catholic Diocese of Olo, Imo State. The President particularly sympathizes with Catholics in Olo Diocese, where the late cleric served as pioneer bishop for about 4 years and endeared himself to his parishioners. Gombe State Government has announced the death of the 15th May Tangale, Dr. Abdu Buba Meisheru II, who died on Sunday, the 10th of January 2021. The state government, in a statement issued by the Secretary to the State Government, Professor Ibrahim Abubakar Njori, indicates that a first-class monarch died after a brief illness at the Federal Teaching Hospital of Gombe. The government of Gombe State describes the death of the paramount ruler as a monumental loss to not only the Tangale chiefdom and the state, but the nation as a whole, as he prays for the repose of his soul. And that concludes Network News on the 88 tonight. Many thanks to you for watching. My name is Kenen Ima Abodiken. Enjoy your night. Bye-bye.
These days, people get their news and information from more media sources than ever before. Some of the news and information given are fake, unverified, doctored, and manufactured to create confusion, stir disaffection, and cause disunity. Before you believe or share any news, ask yourself, is this real? Is it from a credible source? Is Is it verified or verifiable? Fake news is dangerous. Whether you do it for fun or for political gains, real people can get hurt. Fake news, don't create it, don't spread it.
This is a public service announcement from NTA.
This is the network service of the NTA.
Although social media as a channel of communication is inherently harmless, it becomes harmful and damaging when used without discretion and thoughtfulness. Bad social media users spread rumors and fake news without verification. But good social media users stop, reflect, and verify information before sharing it. Be a good social media user. Stop the spread of fake news. Verify the authenticity of your source and use social media responsibly for a better Nigeria. This message is brought to you by the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, in collaboration with the National Orientation Agency.
Nigerian youths are about the greatest assets the country has at the moment. It is therefore not surprising that the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari is strategically responding to the yearnings of the youth through multiple projects and programs. Youth entrepreneurship support, yes, by Bank of Industry, the Youth Investment Fund by the CBN, and several other conditional cash transfer programs. Recruitment of 774,000 social workers, majority of whom are youth, and so many other projects that are beneficial to youths directly or indirectly. If the administration can do all this, definitely with a degree of patience and time, it can achieve more. Nigerian youths must come together to say no to terrorism, no to vandalism, and no to all disruptive tendencies. Hashtag Youth for Greater Nigeria. Pacifying the youths, unifying the nation.
The Council of Our Fathers.
My advice to these young people is please do not take us back to those harrowing days. You probably do not know what it is.
Nigerian youths, let's build our nation together.
Say them they rape about 35% of them girl picking, and even them women safe. Some of them they even die in the process. Emotional trauma uncle, they make some of them be like say they not did this one again, they don't go, but they still they live like ghosts. Some of them shame don't could make them go kill themselves. It's not good though. This not be our culture. It not fit be the African way. Why we can't allow this kind of yet enjoy body with us so they loud way. If you know they fear law where man put, you know they fear Baba God there. You self, you where they cover mouth so you see many one they happen. You know what here when the Oyibo talk say problem where they bring come out. They solve and sharply. Remember, person where feel rape, if it's a key person, if it be you, if it be your pikin, if it be person them where you love well. So make we learn they carry women then. Like diamond where we be. No grief for rape.
When times change, so must we. And the new time requires new response to new challenges.